Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now check this out. We have a lot of fighters that have high profile in the world of boxing, right? A lot of fighters have a high profile, many of which shouldn't have a high profile. And what's going on right now, what I've told you guys, right? And you guys got to listen to me sometimes. I know you cut the videos off. You're worried about if the sound is good, if the intro was good, if it's edited and all that. Instead of just simply, what is that dude, ugly old dude talking about, right? Keep it that and you'll find out things. You know, experience is just experience, right? Justice is just justice. Things are very clear and simple here. Bottom line, I told you, through this new guy, Turki Al-Sheikh. It's a new guy in the world of boxing, and he's given us high-profile fights that we want to have, right? And because of which, a lot of fighters who didn't have to have these fights before were never forced to fighting these hard fights, have become spoiled. And because they could become spoiled, they don't have to, because of fans that are fans of these fighters, right? And glorify these fighters without them doing hard things, right? Not having to fight the hard fights and stuff like that. And so you got that politics, you got, you know, people, nationalism and stuff like that. I'm in a good mood. I'm not going to just try not to say what it really is. You guys know what time it is. And this is going through boxing. And I've told you that through Turki Al-Sheikh, it's going to be some people that's going to want to roll out, going to find out excuses, and is not going to like this man. I made jokes about he's going to be banned in the USA, right? Because USA is really one of the big problems in boxing. They like to anoint people for different reasons and just do stuff, you know, like crazy stuff like erase losses, raise doping levels, right? Give people titles that they wasn't, call them division champions and they've only won an IBO belt or at a catch weight. And those things are just coming from my head. Just things you just do to say, hey, this fighter is so awesome, right? Instead of letting them earn it. And those things are, what happens when you do that for such a long time, the people who are coming up after that expect it to happen that way. That leads us to Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is a high-profile fighter, right? But Teofimo Lopez has retired, right, up here. He probably hasn't officially retired. He said he retired after his fight against, what's that guy, Steve Claggart? After that fight, he said he retired because he wanted to get so much money and stuff, and he wanted to get to 9 figures and stuff like that. It was some crazy figure. Anything over 5 figures is too much for Teofimo Lopez, or 6. That's what it should be. 7 maybe, if he fights somebody. But Teofimo Lopez, said he was retiring. I'm telling you, he's basically retired up here, right? And I've seen it a long time, right? And I've told you, he just turned down this last fight against Subriel Matias, a fight in his weight division, right? And I thought he was going to take Matias because Matias is not that athletic. And I figured, well, he'll probably take the Subriel Matias fight, right? But he didn't even take that fight. We saw him not want to fight Devin Haney when he was got the franchise title, and him and Devin Haney would have been for undisputed. He would rather run around with a duck on his head saying, I'm ducking Devin Haney, instead of just saying, hey, you know what? I have a fake franchise title. You have that other title. Let's fight for undisputed. Didn't want to do that. So what he does, he has 2 good wins over Josh Taylor and Lomachenko, right? He fought Josh Taylor because Josh Taylor knew he was having problems making 140, so he fought him instead of Regis Prograis, which probably now, in retrospect, he probably would have beat Regis Prograis, but we don't know. He didn't want to do that. He would have got more money fighting Regis Prograis, but he fought Josh Taylor and beat him, so, he got a lot of props for that, right? But we know that he lost to Kambosos and should have, rematched the guy so he can get that loss off his back. Didn't really want to do that. He fights Jermaine Ortiz and loses in broad daylight. but gets a win over Jermaine Ortiz, which we know damn well he didn't beat no damn Jermaine Ortiz. He fights your boy Sandor Martin, gets knocked down twice. They still give him that fight. What is done? He's checked out after that. He doesn't want to fight anybody in his division. So what he keeps doing is saying, well, what you guys call clout chasing, saying dumb stuff like, hey, let me fight Gervonta Davis, or let me fight Terrence Crawford. Stuff we know he ain't doing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, hey, you know, I'm in a division. I can, you know, become unified here, do something here. No, he ain't fighting Super Martinez. He ain't fighting Devin Haney. And it's a couple of other ones he didn't want to fight. I just can't think of them right now. Right? So basically, for me, I don't like to talk about him much because I know that he's basically retired. It's like, can I get something easy and get money for it? And it's because of Canelo Alvarez. Because he's like, there is a guy that exists that people keeps exalting, and Canelo Alvarez has never fought the hardest guys in his division, ever. Right? So why should I? Canelo, I didn't fight at 154. He didn't fight either one of the Charlos, who both were champions. Big fight in Texas. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to fight Demetrius Andrade, and Demetrius Andrade was the champion. He was the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade. And just said, no, I'm not doing that. And that's 154. At 160, had to be dragged to fight Gennady Golovkin. And then, here's the deal. Gets gifts against Gennady Golovkin, and then could be undisputed by fighting Demetrius Andrade. Says, I'm not going to fight Demetrius Andrade for no undisputed. I'd rather go up to 168, fight the easy guys, and the WBC going to give me a belt. I'd rather go that route. I'm going to get the belt from the WBC without having to fight Benavidez, and then I can fight these other guys that are a little bit easier, and I'll do that. And they're going to glorify me and call me undisputed, even though I didn't fight for the WBC. That's the easier way to do it. So I'm going to do that. But what happens is, stop acting like people don't see that. The other boxers see that. Why do I have to work hard and Canelo doesn't? He was even doped. And you guys raised the clenbuterol levels. Right? So I'm not going to work hard here. That's what happens. Right? So Canelo's basically retired. Canelo is not fighting anybody hard. Right now, what we're doing with Canelo, we're saying Terrence Crawford wants a payday. Demetrius Andrade wanted a payday. David Benavidez wants a payday. David Morrell wants a payday. All the hard guys wants a payday. Yildirim didn't want no payday. Amir Khan didn't want no payday. Right? Roy Fielding didn't want no payday. Colin Smith don't want no payday. Jaime Munguia don't want no payday. Berlanga don't want no payday. Only super awesome guys that makes great fights that we might have a 50-50 thing going here, those are the ones who want paydays. The legends, the great fighters, the ones that's going to make it to the Hall of Fame, they want paydays. The guys that he's just picking around them don't. And they do it in broad daylight. You ain't supposed to say nothing about it. You supposed to act like, you know, like Canelo, you kissing this dude's feet. Dude, this is sport. Man, I ain't got time for that. Don't like to talk about Canelo, because Canelo just shows, it's a mirror of how society is. He ain't the best. He's not close to it, in my opinion, because he would just get rid of these guys, right? But he doesn't. For high-profile fights that mean everything. Ryan Garcia, he's retired. He was doped, got props for beating somebody just because he was beat the guy, was doped. Ryan Garcia is not going to find a weight class, going to be trying to fight because y'all done made him so popular that he's not going to have to, he's not paying any dues or any being held accountable for being doped to the gills, right? And missing weight. So what weight he going to fight at? He ain't going to feel like he has to, and he's not going to fight anything. He'll start fighting exhibition fights. Watch what happens. Ryan Garcia is retired. Right, Gervonta Davis. Oh, he's all of a sudden he got to fight somebody that's hard for a change. He's been in boxing all this time, still ain't fought Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, nobody that was there. And Lomachenko, he just wanted to fight. All them people been there. Lomachenko was considered the best boxer in boxing. He's right in your division. Devin Haney became undisputed right in Gervonta Davis' division, and he ain't been chasing them out of his division. That wouldn't happen to a Terrence Crawford or anybody like that. So Gervonta Davis is talking about retirement, right? Everybody that might have to start having fights, real fights, is talking retirement, because with Turki Al-Jay, people are going to start seeing fights they want to see, and it exposes the ones that don't want to get in them because they don't have the excuse anymore of not getting money. Teofimo Lopez just turned down Devin Haney. We just act like we didn't hear that. said he's not ready. They was talking about the fight in October, November, and he said he wasn't ready for a February fight against Devin Haney, who was coming off of this beating by a dope guy. And he ain't ready for that. But I'm calling out Terrence Crawford at the same time, and y'all taking him serious. Bro, boxing's misfits are retiring, right? The guys that you created, that you don't want them to fight nobody, all of them are retiring. And here, 2 words, good riddance, so we can get back to sport. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.